What bills do you pay?
I pay my phone bill, I pay my student loans, I help my mom.
Those aren't real bills.
Real dollars come out of my real bank account, so I think they are real
$200
bills.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys obviously about marrying millions. Talking about Don and Dani. We're going to talk to you guys about the fact that you need to have your own financial freedom and security. Alright, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, and you already know the motto, baby, listen, what does it say? It says what? Minerals, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals, yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, listen, boom, things. Let's get into the video. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Alright. So, obviously, watching Married Millions episode 4, I saw Dom and Dani, and I think what was really interesting was that they're talking about financial freedom. And when we say financial freedom, we're not talking about escaping the world in terms of having your own finances to escape it, but in the sense of having financial security, that you have your own income where it allows you to have freedom, not based upon someone else, but based upon what you can earn yourself. That also includes working for somebody, okay? Now, here's the thing about Don and Dani is that Dani at the moment was very, very comfortable being in the shadow, I should say, when I say shadow, being at the mercy of Don, in the sense of the fact that she was getting, you know, his credit cards, his cards, you know, to be able to shop and buy whatever she wanted.
Now, she doesn't even need a salary. I pretty much buy her everything. Dani has access to my credit card. She goes on a bunch of trips with me, you know. She doesn't have a car note. She doesn't have any bills.
And then she was also getting a £500 expense that she could spend every month, all right, that she was getting paid for with the amount of work she was doing for his particular business. Number one, one of the interesting things about relationships is that when you do work together in a business format, it can get very murky very quickly. They do say out here, don't work with family, right? When you do business, don't mix business and family. Why? Because it can get very techy very, very quickly, because the lines can get blurred very, very quickly. People can get emotional and hurt, and you've got to see that person again next week, all right? Or then tomorrow, etc. So it can make it very, very tricky. So to have a partner who you're working for, not just working alongside, but working for, and you're earning a wage from their business, it can be something that needs to be navigated. It can be something, if it's not navigated very well, can end in tears, which is what we're seeing Dani and Don, right? Dani is understanding that, okay, my value in this relationship, okay, is one thing, but I've also got a value in terms of your business.
Higher alongside Don, and I never thought that I would get to a point where...
And I think that's where it can be very, very hard, because as I'm looking from Don's perspective, her boyfriend's perspective, where he's looking at it from the fact that, listen, hold on a minute here, and we're going to present the argument here. From his perspective, he's running a business, okay? It's obviously successful. He's getting paid for it. He's then giving you his cards to do whatever you want.
Now, she doesn't even need a salary. I pretty much buy her everything. Dani
Want to do. You can spend on it. She's about to buy a £1,500 coat, for goodness sake, on his credit card, right? So you have access to his cars like it's your own, and then also at the same time you're then paid £500 a month, okay? Which obviously her bills, he was quoting, was saying that was only £200 a month. So if you look at it, £500 a week, sorry, not even a month, £500 a week, which means £2,000 a month, 24,000 salary, okay? So her bills come up to about £200 a month, as he said, right? So if you really deep that's a net spend of 1,800 coming at the end of the month, not including anything else that might be miscellaneous, right? So she's getting that every single month. She could be pocketing that and making money. Now, that's one aspect to look at it from his perspective. But from her perspective, her looking at it says, listen, I am not just your girlfriend, so that credit card you're giving me, I appreciate it, I love it, I like it. You know, what woman wouldn't want to be endowed with your finances like that? But the truth of the matter is, she's coming from a place where her mother, and this is where it's very, very key to understand where our thought process and mindsets actually come from. Let me get a sip of water.
You need to start building something by yourself.
I know.
Okay? To get that security. I think Dani is kind of afraid because Don likes to control.
This is where it's important to understand where our mindsets actually come from, because her mother, as she stated, has previously gone through a relationship where she broke up and basically came out of a divorce with nothing. So she's learning from what her mother's experienced. I can't blame her. That's her experience. So what she's seeing is, although I see that comfortable lifestyle, and I appreciate you that for that, and I love that, what I do have to say is that unfortunately, I can't rock with that, because what happens if we break up? I then leave this situation with nothing. And so her mother also at the same time, having learned from her own experience, and is then adding on to that knowledge by then saying to him, to her as well, to add the pressure on in terms of making a decision. Remember what I went through.
Be independent financially.
I love this.
That's what has helped me to move on in life after my divorce.
Do not get comfortable. Do not allow yourself to be solely reliant upon this man. And actually, I agree. She should have her own money. Why? Because it's a sense of liberty, freedom, okay? And allows you to also have your own thoughts, ideas, and what you want to do. Why? Because it's your money. Okay, and so as the mother mentioned something which is very interesting, which is something that we don't often talk about when we're dealing with people, when we're dealing with finances within a couple, where someone earns the sole bread and they are giving the money to the other partner to say spend whatever you like. There can be, and I say this can be because I've seen it work brilliantly for a lot of couples who are on tune and on the same notes. When there can be a level of control and leading to abuse, when the man makes all the sole finances and then says you can spend this amount, or you can have this amount, or you can have the card and do whatever you want to do. Why? Because that woman is solely dependent upon him, and the moment he cuts off the source, she has no income.
Dani is kind of afraid because Don likes to control everything, and I think that maybe she feels that she's controlled as well.
Coming in, and therefore she's stuck. And if she wants to leave and exit, she actually has nothing to her name. She has no finances to her name, no savings, nothing, because everything she was spending was on a current account style basis of relationship. She was spending money of his, not hers. And so she would never have her own, leaving her in a predicament, especially in today's society where not only is there abuse, there's physical abuse, sexual abuse, there's, all of that can happen in a relationship so easily now. And now that women have been given the status in society where they have the ability to leave that relationship, why put yourself at a back burner, okay, and not look after yourself by making sure that you have your own solid income? So yes, the £500 that she's been getting is something. £500 a week she's getting is something, but it may not be up to the standard of what she's doing for the company. So I know that she's working for him. Now this is where it gets very interesting, because should she be a full-time employee, would you pay her £500 a week? That's the question. I don't know. If that's I don't know what she does per se as a role and how much it earns. If the question is, does your role, Dani, earn what it does earn on the outside, or is it more on the outside, or is it even less on the outside?
24/7. They don't go home with you. So guess who overperforms and gets underpaid? Me.
What does your role earn? Could you get more if you're working for somebody else? Because I know she's earning, I know that she's obviously negotiating contracts, doing all that kind of stuff. But could you earn more if you were outside of the company? If yes, then you're being shortchanged. If no, then you're getting a better deal. If it's middle ground, then fantastic. You're still getting a great deal because you're not only getting your money that you deserve, but you're also as well getting a spending card of his, right? So this is where it gets very interesting, where the couples have to start beginning to conversate and talk about what direction they're looking to go into. And this is where you have to start seeing yourself as a team. And as a male, I have to be able to also be understanding that, hey, look, I'm never going to abuse you. I'm never going to financially cheat you or sexually or physically abuse you or cheat you. No. But I also have to understand you will never know that. I only know my intentions. And so therefore, I have to also give you room and breathing space to say, hey, look, babe, I trust and believe that. Listen, I'm never going to do that to you, but I also want you to have yours. Why? Because I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel secure. I want you to feel like, listen, you've also got your own as well to work with, so that you don't feel like you're trapped by me. You understand? It's cute back in the 50s, but this day and age, and a lot of people like to try to glorify that the 50s, like relationships lasted longer. No, what happened is a lot of men were just bastards, and women didn't have financial increase or financial security, so they couldn't leave. What we're seeing in 2020, and even I believe from 1985 especially, I think it started kicking off in 1985, 1976, I can't remember, where divorce really started increasing. What you saw was that many women now had the ability, without the shame and the stigma, to now leave their relationships. Why? Because the relationship wasn't working. The truth of the matter is, the truth of the matter is that I will say there are frivolous relationships that happen. There are frivolous marriages that happen. Yes, but I would say that, you know, a lot of relationships also are very good marriages that were happening, but people didn't know how to fight in that marriage. They didn't know how to work out the problems in that marriage, and therefore things like and again, infidelity is never a cause of you did this, that. Infidelity is your choice. Right? But things like infidelity, for instance, a huge thing, might have made a woman think about staying beforehand because, well, in a minute, I don't have finances. Where am I going? But now she looks at it and goes, hold on a minute, you're going to treat me like that? Sorry, there are other men in the sea, number one. Number two, I got my own money. Number three, I don't need the stress in my life. I'm a grown-ass woman and I want to be happy. Boom. So
I got to be independent so that we can be good. You know what I mean?
You know, for Dani and Dani, I get it. I do understand it, that, you know, the finances are a huge part. You know, and I know, and what's interesting is that when she did bring it up to Don as well, when she brought it up to Don to have the conversation, I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that wrong way around, forgive. But when she had a conversation with her partner, you know, he said obviously she's been ungrateful, and I felt that was, I don't want to say gaslight, but I want to say like that was definitely something that made me look up a little bit more and go, hold on a minute, sir. Like, the girl's asking a genuine question, or being genuine about her pursuit of an increase. And all you had to say was, listen, babe, your role is what you're getting paid for. Your role is what exactly you've been to get paid. Now, we can look at an appraisal later on down the line, yes, or we can look at increasing down the line, yes, but your role is X, Y, Z, right? Or if she's getting paid too little, to actually listen and go, okay, do you know what? You're absolutely right, babe. Let me look at trying to increase your finances, because it's not in alignment with what other employers will be getting. It should have been a simple conversation, but he turned it into
Underpaid. Me.
I think you're being pretty ungrateful right now.
I don't want to hear what you got to say. You're not important. Your word's not important. You know what I'm saying? You're a woman. Listen to what I got to say. Kind of vibe, energy. He never said it, but his vibe and energy was presenting that, right? He didn't want to be challenged. And so, you know, I would say as well, like, there is a need for you to have your own. Simple as. In this generation, there is. Because you never know what can happen. So, yeah, guys, I hope that helped. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. When we click on that bell button for notification of the uploads, guys. And we appreciate you stay locked. Stay